I don't think that Tommy Robinson is frothing anything either.
I didn't say he was either. I said he was an extremist, but I didn't say he was frothing.
Well, I disagree with you on that. And the man that I was there with, in fact, just not one man, but the person I was there with, I was referring to a moment ago, who is Muslim, I'm sure if he was on the line with me right now, he would be putting you straight, that you're giving out the wrong message, that Tommy Robinson is not an extremist. He says certain things that are truths. The reason why he's been convicted to prison for 18 months today, your news bulletin is saying that he put out repeated falsehoods or something like that. Actually, it's the opposite. He's been put in prison for telling the truth.
Tommy Robinson, often labelled a promoter of religious hatred and a proponent of violence, has once again become the focal point of intense debate with his shocking allegations against prominent politicians and police officers. He has levelled serious accusations of complicity in the formation of criminal gangs and widespread corruption. This is not merely another sensational scandal like those frequently reported in the news globally. It is a desperate plea for attention that demands to be heard. Robinson has raised critical issues regarding the fairness of the UK's judicial system and the inadequate protection afforded to those who dare to expose corruption within the country.
If you become Prime Minister and you could change 3 things that could make the UK great again, what would you change?
If I could change 3 things, this will upset a few. Well, I'd totally stop their climate change agenda. I'd totally stop. Again, I'd stop open border immigration. And I'd send every one of these men in these hotels out of our country. I'd concentrate on the British people, the people that have given and sacrificed and families have in this country, and concentrate on Britain rather than the globe, which was what globalism wants.
In his latest work, Robinson aims to shock the public by revealing how some of these cases may have been intentionally closed. He claims that the police officers, who are meant to protect us, actually colluded with criminals, allowing them to evade arrest and face no consequences, while the true victims endured the fallout of their inaction. This only worsens an already troubling situation, highlighting a level of negligence that goes beyond mere inaction and results in a complete absence of necessary goals and objectives. The question of the police's role has been a source of concern for several years, but Robinson's statements have introduced a disturbing new reality. If his allegations are proven true, it would imply that corrupt police officers actively facilitated the ongoing abuse of children. The notion that those entrusted with our safety might be aiding criminals evokes horror and outrage within society. This has sparked a wave of indignation among the public, while the former officers named by Robinson have chosen to remain silent on the matter.
I think it might have been you who said, if a woman sells her body for money, she'll sell you out. Yeah. She'll sell you for money.
It was actually Tommy Robinson. I saw him say that, and I was, I have to agree. He got it right. He goes, "What do you expect? You pay them to take the clothes off. What do you think they're not going to sell you for that?" And that's the case you have. But I also, I think also him reverting. Look, this has been since last April. No evidence. All of a sudden, he comes back as a Muslim, holding the Quran to court in an Orthodox Christian country. That's going to piss people off, bro. In their face. People say he's a fake Muslim. If he's fake, why would he do that? That's going to ruin him more. He's, you don't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like going to a pit bull, come here, to the pit bull, and you get bitten, and go, what? Do you know what I mean? So people and they just judge, so I can understand, I can understand why there's hatred for him. I understand as well. They've took it wrong in the edits. I can understand, but there's one thing hating a guy and one thing letting a guy suffer for something he's not done. And anyone with logic will see this is fake, this bullshit case is bullshit.
This presents the country with grave challenges that it likely wishes to avoid while attempting to reveal the true state of its national institutions. One of the most pressing issues in the United Kingdom is the existence of child exploitation gangs. Cities like Rotherham, Rochdale, and Telford have become synonymous with these horrific crimes, where innocent children have fallen victim to slavery, violence, torture, and abuse at the hands of powerful groups, all while local authorities turned a blind eye. Investigations carried out by non-governmental organizations are deeply disturbing. Thousands of children have suffered abuse, and many were dismissed by the police and social services. These figures are not just numbers. They represent the lives of children who deserve protection and justice.
A High Court judge has issued a warrant for the arrest of Tommy Robinson after he fled the UK. It's after he breached a court order by showing a film at a protest in central London. He was arrested but released on bail Sunday night before allegedly leaving the country. He was due to attend a hearing today for contempt of court, but his absence led to the judge to continue without him.
For many, their silence implies guilt, even though none of them have been formally charged. This alarming lack of accountability erodes public trust in the police and calls for urgent reform of the entire system. The public's response to Robinson's allegations has been both widespread and divided. On one hand, many people rally behind him, believing he has shed light on a corrupt system and compelled others to consider what is happening behind closed doors. On the other hand, critics argue that his tactics are overly aggressive and could jeopardize legitimate investigations. These heated discussions are actively unfolding on social media platforms. Supporters of Robinson assert that his actions reflect the failure of mainstream media and government institutions that are meant to protect us. Conversely, his detractors accuse him of sensationalism, contending that his approach could pose a significant barrier to achieving justice.
Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, has been charged under the Terrorism Act.
He hugged supporters waiting outside for him, telling them he was there for telling the truth. Now, one of them asked what'll happen next, and he said, "I'll see what happens, mate. I don't expect to come back out here."
For many, this issue has become a crucial measure of the government's commitment to pursuing justice. The accountability of these institutions regarding the activities of criminal gangs has been a topic of intense discussion and debate in recent years. The offences associated with these cases reveal significant social issues within the police, local councils, and community organisations. It is claimed that these entities, which are meant to safeguard vulnerable populations, overlook warning signs, ignore complaints, and hinder the pursuit of justice. These failures stem from deficiencies in training, political pressures, and potential allegations of discrimination, resulting in gross negligence in how victims are treated.
What is Tommy Robinson's appeal, and why does he have such a big following?
I think it's because he speaks about things that affect the ordinary people, that the MPs don't really affect them because they're not living where we're living. I'm not saying Tommy's right on everything he says, but you have to look through the narrative at some of the finer genuine concern. We can't just keep denying there's problems or there's no problems with immigration when there are problems where local people are seeing the difference. We need to start having open, honest conversations about various issues. We need to reclaim the conversations back.
This issue carries significant political ramifications that cannot be overlooked. Brexit leaders like Nigel Farage and Elon Musk have actively participated in this discussion, emphasizing the stark contrasts between the UK and the rest of the world. Despite Robinson's objections, Farage boldly endorsed the council's stance on combating gang activity. George Musk defended Robinson's right to free speech, highlighting the pronounced differences in perspectives between the West and East coasts of America. These opposing viewpoints underscore a larger and more intense struggle regarding how we should address critical issues like gang formation. As the scandal intensifies, calls for a comprehensive national investigation into grooming gangs are growing louder and more urgent. Proponents of this investigation believe that only a thorough examination of the facts can restore public trust. However, some critics caution that another investigation could divert attention from the pressing need to assist victims and hold offenders accountable. The government's inaction only deepens suspicions of a cover-up. What are your thoughts on this video? Share your opinions in the comments and see you next time.